There are many things we use regularly. We assume they work, but we actually have no idea how they work exactly. That's not necessarily essential, but sometimes it's nice to know how they actually work. Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi sends small waves into the air, and these waves carry everything that can be found on the internet. Your router picks up these waves and converts them into a code that your computers, laptops, tablets, and phones can receive. For example, your phone asks to open a document. Your router has converted the document into a code that your phone understands and sends it to your phone. Your phone opens the document. Your router has created a kind of road in your home along which the waves travel. We call this a channel. All computers that use Wi-Fi are on the same channel. This way, every computer knows where to get its information from and does not get confused with, for example, the neighbor's router. All routers can retrieve the information shared in the air, provided the internet provider gives permission. The internet provider gives the router permission to retrieve information so that the router can decode it for you and send it to your phone. If you don't have a provider, a router won't work. Bluetooth. Bluetooth also transmits radio waves, but instead of being broadcast into the universe, they are only transmitted within a small bubble of about 30 feet. Within this bubble, your phone can communicate with your headphones. Both your phone and your headphones have Bluetooth chips. These must be paired together, and they communicate with each other via those chips. Even if someone else is in the bubble, if the Bluetooth is not paired, no one else can listen in. How works a microwave? A microwave also uses waves, namely microwaves. This means that no fire is involved in the heating process. The waves are electromagnetic waves. They are the same as X-ray waves or light waves, but they are much thicker. They only heat one component of the products you put in a microwave, namely water. Water molecules are small and resemble dumbbells. They have one positive part and two negative parts. When they are hit by the microwaves, they start to move and move very fast. This ensures that the entire product is heated. The more water a product contains, the faster it will heat up. That is why bread, for example, can dry out very quickly. Microwaves do not penetrate very deeply into the product. For this reason, if you put a frozen product in the microwave, the outside may cook or even turn black while the inside is still frozen. There is always a turntable in a microwave. This is because microwaves bounce up and down in a microwave. If the product were to remain stationary, the same part would be heated over and over again. Because the product rotates, the waves bounce off a different part each time, heating the water and therefore the product evenly. How is it possible that planes fly through the air? Airplanes are large, carry many people, a lot of luggage, and also a quantity of food and drink. So how is it possible that an airplane can take off, stay aloft, and move forward? Here's the secret. Airplanes are lifted, which means that the air beneath the airplane pushes it upward faster than gravity pulls it downward. If you have ever looked closely at an airplane wing, you will see that the top of the wing is curved and the bottom of the wing is smooth. Air moves faster over the top of the airplane and slower under the airplane. This creates low pressure on top of the airplane and high pressure underneath. This pushes the airplane upward. The large engines on the wings propel the airplane forward. And the faster the airplane flies, the more air passes underneath it, and the higher it is pushed upwards. The wing also has a kind of wing flap, which the pilot can open or open slightly. This actually regulates how high the plane goes. When they are open, the plane is descending because the air passing under the plane is allowed to rise, and the weight of the plane causes it to go down. Magnets. They are often found in everyday objects. For example, in your refrigerator door, your freezer door, and sometimes in kitchen cabinets. You can feel the pressure of the magnet when you open and close the door. A magnet produces a magnetic field. It is an invisible force that attracts or repels. Metals such as iron, nickel, and cobalt can create this invisible field. Most magnets that we use in our daily lives are made of a special material that can retain its magnetic properties for a long time. These are called permanent magnets. A magnet has two poles, a north pole and a south pole. If you hold two magnets close together, the north and south poles will attract each other, but north-north and south-south will repel each other. This is an interaction that always occurs with a magnet. How can something become magnetic? A non-magnetic piece of iron, such as a nail, contains atoms. These atoms have a north and a south side. They are therefore already present in iron. By moving a magnet in the same direction along a nail for a long time, these atoms start to move and all the north poles end up facing the same direction, and all the south poles end up facing the same direction. You have then turned your nail into a magnet. In principle, all atoms inside iron are already small electromagnets. By making them all point in the same direction, the iron becomes magnetic. If you cut the nail that is now magnetic, you will have two magnets. The atoms will all remain aligned in the same direction. There are countless magnets in our daily lives. Just think of electricity, which is regulated by magnets, and your phone, for example, which stores all data using magnets. Do you like the video? Subscribe for more of our videos. Induction. There are various ways to heat or cook your food. First of all, there is gas. You turn on the gas supply using the knobs on your stove, hold a flame to it, and you can cook or heat your food. Gas was the most efficient way to cook because you could switch very quickly between cooking at full power and simmering. Then there is electric cooking. Nowadays, this is done on a ceramic hob. When you turn on the hob, the entire cooking zone is heated. The heating is done by means of electric heating elements. You can see the entire cooking zone turn red. The hob heats up slowly but cools down even more slowly, so you have to turn off the knob well in advance if you want your dish to continue cooking slowly. With induction, it is not the hob that is heated, but only the pan. Although it also uses electricity, it is a completely different way of cooking. The hob does not contain heating elements, but magnetic coils. When you turn on the cooking zone, a magnetic field is created that causes the molecules in the metal pan to vibrate very quickly, generating heat in the bottom of the pan. By turning down the hob, the magnetic field is reduced and the molecules vibrate less rapidly, allowing your dish to continue cooking gently. Pans used on induction hobs also need to have a magnetic field. Otherwise, the pans are not suitable for an induction hob.